Cash is king, my friends, or queen. Now, that saying, that famous saying that riders have, yeah, I'll tip you in the app. We know, I know, you know, it's BS. 95% of the time it doesn't materialize. That phrase just basically means I don't have the money to tip you, you know. And it's a nice way for them to exit the car, leave you sort of like with a broken promise. Doesn't really materialize. Now, it is very, very different. And here my tipping rate is 90% or higher. A lot of people say, well, I barely make 10% of my trips. 1 out of 10 trips, I maybe get a tip. 9 out of my trips are tips. There's a few people I know, and I'm talking about private clients. And this is truly the difference between Uber and Lyft and private clients. And the sooner you make that transition, the sooner you start using Uber and Lyft to your advantage. Truly, there's no money on UberX anymore. In fact, any UberX driver, I would suggest, hey, take your car in, your Camry, your Civic, whatever you have, trade it in for a Suburban, get whatever you can, or do a deal with your dealership, have them finance you a Suburban through their commercial department, through their fleet department, and then go and work in the categories of, you know, SUV or the Premier, the Black, the higher echelons, and XL. And once you're there, you have clientele that tip better. You're being paid more for the mile. Sure, yeah, your overheads are higher. You know, you have a more expensive car. I understand that. But the real money is made with private clients. And if I tell you, my private clients, 90% of the trips, 9 out of 10 that I do on private clients, tip me. And it's cash or it's Venmo. That's it. 90% takes place. Well, actually, let me correct that. Maybe a few Zelle, a couple of people Zelle, but the majority of my tips, 90% of the private trips that I give, result in good cash tips. And then I have a couple of standouts, you know, that really, really tip well. They go way beyond the 30% mark, you know, 30% of the trip. So let's say you have a $150 trip, which is not too long, and you get $200, $150 plus 50 tip. A lot of people, the majority of the tips that I see on private trips are $20 tips. So let's say you have a 140, it'll be 160. If you have a 180 trip, it'll be 200. The majority are either $20 tips or $20 through the Venmo. This does not happen on Uber and Lyft. It doesn't even happen in the higher categories anymore. Because if a rider, if a passenger takes a trip in an SUV on Uber or Lyft, it is extremely expensive. In fact, you can even price your private trips below those insane Uber rates. And the riders are happy because they're getting a little bit of a discount. You don't have to give them too much of a discount, but I'll give you an example. In LA, if you know LA, Calabasas to LAX, you're looking at the higher categories are charging now $250, $260 for their trip, of which if you are lucky, you're getting $100. So if I know that the client is paying $260 for that 1 hour trip, I can easily go in there and offer that for $200 cash, another 20 tip on top, $220 all day long, my friends. They've saved themselves $40. And that person that they paying $260 for the Uber trip, do you think that guy's going to get much of a tip when Uber's already charging them $260? No, he's not going to get a $20 tip in the app. It's not going to happen. So you have to deal with facts here, with reality. And the reality is, my friends, AVs, autonomous vehicles, are around the corner. They're already cutting into your earnings in San Francisco, in LA, in Phoenix, in Atlanta, in Austin. Fact. And there are going to be a lot of other cities following. Watch this start in Chicago, Detroit, all these major cities. You're going to have Waymo everywhere in the next few years. So why wait? You know, why let the clock run down? Why delay? Why delay? Too many drivers are delaying. Oh, you know, there's no money in UberX anymore. Hardly any money in Uber XL anymore. But there is a lot of money if you have the right car, whether it's a Suburban or a Cadillac. I don't even suggest a 550 Mercedes sedan. I suggest go straight for a Suburban diesel, 28 miles per gallon. Fantastic car that'll get you 300 to 320,000 miles. Yes, your monthly payments are going to be higher, but if you follow the formula, I teach you the formula, and that's why I'm going to make 2 videos in the last 2 days of January. I'm making 2 videos to help you transition to doing private trips. And my course is below at Gig Rocket. The link is in the description. I've sold a course over 6,000 times worldwide. I have not had one refund, not one refund on 6,000 courses I sold worldwide. And the people that really buy my course are more in metropolitan cities. They're even in London, they're in Sydney, you know, in any big city, whether it's Miami, Chicago, Salt Lake City, LA, New York, New Jersey, you name it. This is where my course does well. And all I can say is make the transition now. Why are you waiting around to be replaced by an AV? The people that get into the AV, they're not private clients. Private clients want a private driver because they may want to stop at a restaurant, and then they may want to go to a festival or a concert or a sports game afterwards. They're not interested in jumping into from Waymo to Waymo to Waymo to Waymo, waiting. They don't have time to wait. When they want to roll, they want to roll. You got to be ready to go. So you working in a more safe environment. You are starting to recruit clients that have the money to afford you, to pay you, to tip you. And don't delay, my friends. Don't delay. I'm making this video now, January 2025. Don't suddenly say in January 2027, shit, I should have started 2 years ago. If you are starting now in 2025, January, by the time 2027 rolls around, obviously in the next few months, you can go and get your new car. You have already built out 40, 50 clients. I've been in this game for 15 years. I offer the transportation. I offer the security. I know how to price the trips. Everything that I have learned in 15 years is in this course. In fact, I'm going to make another video right after this, which is again going to fit into the last 48 hours of January 2025, again to encourage you to go in the direction of private trips. And that video will really center around events, concerts, festivities, NBA, NFL, all these type of games. And it's going to be about how do I fill out my 2025 calendar. In fact, from January to December, I'll show you in that next video. Pay attention to that. And I'll remind you again, when are you going to start doing private trips? Now, someone who's become a good friend, Jeff Watts, the 300, he stepped into that arena and flourishing. He's making money and he's working with a good syndicate of drivers, and he's promoting an app called PAX that basically facilitates this. And I think the key word there is ride services, not ride share, right? You're not sharing your space with a lot of different people or foreign identities. No, you're creating a ride service. You are offering your premium services at a price. And the biggest factor of them all, I mean, I've already told you AVs are around the corner. Why wait? Why wait and be replaced? The biggest factor of them all, numero uno, nummer eins, nummer un, is the earnings. Why on earth do you want to split That $100, 70% for them, 30% for you. $70 for them, $30 to $40 max for you. Hell no. And do you want to keep on putting up with that bullshit phrase, oh, I'll tip you in the app, oh, I'll tip you in the app, I'll tip you in the app? I'll kick you in the ass. I'll kick you in the ass. I'll kick you in the ass, because you're lying that you'll tip me in the app. I mean, that phrase just drives me crazy. It's a promise that will not materialize. The promise that my private clients make is based on statistics, on percentages. Not all of these rich people tip, but 9 out of 10 people tip. So if I'm doing 20 trips, 2 people ain't going to give me money, because they're pretty stingy. That's how they got really, really rich. And they have a lot of money. But my millionaires, my billionaires, tipping can come in so many forms. Free tickets, free this, free that. Oh my goodness. I mean, the Fire Aid concert, the tickets were $2,500. Oh, you're taking myself and my wife, and we got you a ticket as well. $2,500 spent on me. Thank you. I'll take that. I really appreciate that. Right? Or Taylor Swift concerts. Taylor Swift concert was $2,500. All my kids get to watch the shows. That is a tip. It's a lot. It's a big tip. It's a lot of money. So AC/DC Rose Bowl in April, we bought you tickets for you and your wife, for you and Laura. That's a tip. It's a very generous tip, because I get paid to take the people down to the Rose Bowl. I get paid for the night. And on top of it, I'm getting a ticket for my wife and I, thanks to my client. That's a very generous tip. Do you honestly think your UberX or your Lyft regular carting them around in the Camry has a pair of AC/DC tickets waiting for you? Dream on. So if you want to step in that arena, if you want to play with the big boys, if you want to make proper money, I highly encourage you to make the transition to private clients. Everything is explained in the 300 minutes. There's 22 modules. I'll take it a step further. Once you are empowered, once you see what you're making per day. During the fires, I was making $1,500 a day. But once you see what you are making weekly or monthly, when you have your clients that you've built out over 2, 3, 4 years, and you actually see how much money, and you say, thank God I started in 2025. A lot of my other clients have started years and years ago when I started selling the course. But you'll get to learn all the ins and outs about this business. And I'll save you a lot of educational dollars, right? Educational dollars are what we pay to find out the hard way what doesn't work. You throw a lot of money at something and it doesn't work. I save you all that money. So not only after you've bought the course for $69, I'm going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars in educational dollars. Money that you would have spent just going out there and trying to figure it out, wasting your precious time, when rather go in there, boom, I'm applying the formula. Now, when you are empowered and you want to add cars, there is a great program. It's the only great program that Uber has. It's called the Uber Fleet program, right? You become like an enterprise. You become like an Avis. I don't want to say Hertz. I hate Hertz, right? But you become like a car rental company, or hire car. Don't even like hire car, or like Turo. You become the broker. So as I teach you to become a one-man show that you can grow into a 5-man show, a 10-man show, I have people that signed up for my course that have over 150 cars. I myself have 58 vehicles. 58 vehicles, and I charge over $600 per week. That's over $30,000 a week that I generate in rentals. Now people say, oh my God, that's a lot of money, 30,000. No, you have a lot of overheads, right? I have a lot of overheads. I have all the maintenance to take care of, buying the vehicles, maintaining the vehicles, the high commercial insurance. So it's not like you're making $30,000 plus a week, but I do very, very well with the fleet. And the fleet program I teach you in the course as well. It's an add-on that I throw in, and I've been promoting this aggressively. You might even be sick and tired of me promoting it, but here's the reason why I promote it: because I always knew AVs are coming one day, and they're coming faster than expected, and I always knew and was following the percentage dropping, because once upon a time when I started my fleets and driving, Uber drivers were getting 75%. The company was getting 25% under Travis Kalanick. And every year, the percentage changed. 60% them, 60% you, 40% them, 50% them, 50% you. And it kept on going down and down and down. And today, the numbers are horrible. The numbers are 25 to 30% for you, 70% for them. I won't work for that. Maybe you will. Or maybe I can encourage you to get out of that hamster wheel. So, if you have a regular vehicle and it's almost paid off, even if it's just worth a few $1,000s on a trade-in, go and negotiate with multiple dealerships. Or let's say you have cash on the side. I buy all my cars through the auction, cash at the auctions. But if you want to go to a dealership, you'll be dealing with a commercial fleet department that'll finance your car as a commercial vehicle, and you negotiate. Why do you negotiate? Because you can easily approach 10, 15 dealerships in your state and see who gives you the best deal. And then you can easily shop around for the best commercial insurance. Instead of paying $14,000, $15,000 a year, you could be paying $7,500 a year. Think about it, my friends. The sooner you get into the private client arena, the sooner you can cut off relying on these shady companies who are undressing you, and those shady riders who say, I'll tip you in the app. God bless you all.